Today I'm going to show you how to warp your strings onto a circle loom like this. Materials you're going to need are your loom, some scissors, yarn of your choice, and a needle for later on. Starting off with the yarn, we need to find the end, making sure, if you have two ends coming out of it, make sure you only have one of them. I'm just going to stuff this other end in so it doesn't mess up my loom. There we go. You'll notice on my looms I have these marks to show the halfway point. Start by taking one end and tie it onto one of the spokes with the mark on it. Go ahead and give it a double knot. That way it's nice and tight. Okay, so to do the circle loom, you have to start by going to that middle point. If yours is in between two, you loop around the one to the right, up, loop around to the one to the left, down to the right, up to the left, down to the right, up to the left. You keep doing this pattern, making sure you keep tension on the string so we don't want it getting loose. They do pop off the top of these little knobs easily, so you gotta be careful. They also do like to tangle around each other. So I'm just working my way around one loop at a time, keeping tight tension. Until I get all the way back to the beginning. So I'm here and I'm back to the beginning point. Once you get all the way back to the beginning, I take a second and I press down all of these warp strands so that way they're lower on these little spokes, less likely to come off while you're weaving. So it's a little bit more sturdy this way. So I'm just pressing them down, sliding them down these little spokes. All right, now while holding tension, I'm gonna hold it with my non-dominant hand so that way I can do stuff with my dominant hand. I'm going to give myself maybe like a foot extra of string, and I'm gonna cut from there. So I gave myself a bit of extra past where I ended. I'm also going to thread my needle onto the end. Needles are optional, but a lot of people do find them easier. Okay, so this is gonna be a bit of a challenge. Trust the process. The first 2 or 3 rows around the center are going to be a pain. They're gonna be challenging, but then all of a sudden it's going to make sense and it's gonna start working. So again, with my non-dominant hand, I'm holding this string tight so it keeps tension. With my dominant hand, for me that's my right hand, I'm gonna work my way around this outer edge doing a tabby weave. So that's over, under, over, under, over, under. You wanna do it around the outside edge because in the center, they get a little bit hard to tell. And as I go, I'm gonna pull my slack through. They do like to loop around the spokes a lot, so just be careful. Ended with over, so now under, over, under, over. Takes a little bit of practice getting used to how the circle feels. And again, these first couple rows are the hardest. I'm pulling my slack through as I go, but still holding that tension. That tabby weave, over, under, over, under, over, under. Do a few, pull the slack through. Uh-oh, my needle came off. Down. It definitely likes to loop around the excess. So I'm kind of pulling that slack through as I go, so it's not a lot extra. Once you're over halfway around, you should be able to pull all that slack through so I can let go with my other hand and start to pull all the slack to the center. Now you gotta be careful, you pay attention to where your last row was. So mine was here, I ended up with under, so that means I'm gonna go over. Again, these first couple rows are weird. Trust the process. Pulling my slack through as I go. like to snag a lot. I told you these rows are frustrating. Again, I'm kind of pulling that slack through. I'm not pulling it super tight yet until I get all the way around with it. Once you've gotten all the way around one time, you're gonna wanna pull all that slack through and trying to make it a circle in the center of the loom. The more circular and centered you can get this now, the better your weaving will be at the end. So I got mine fairly centered. Now I wanna just keep going that same process of tabby, paying attention to where I ended, come to the outside so I can see it, over, under, over, under, over, under. I'll speed up this section so you can see a few loops around. So as you can see, now that I've done a second loop around, it's all nice and centered and the lines of my warp strands are all even up. So you just keep spiraling out from the center. When you want to change colors or you run out of yarn, you just tie your next piece on and you just keep going, making sure to keep that tabby weave. But now that it's tight in the center, it should hold together nicely. Can't wait to see what your weavings look like.